Good day everyone! I'm Erica C. Castillo from BSIE 22OT, and for today's video, I'm going to show you how I make our first activity in computer-aided design. So in this activity, we are tasked to make this figure as well as the dimensions, lengths, and angles. So all throughout the semester, I will be using this Autodesk AutoCAD version of 2020. So to begin our activity, let me click first this line, or you can simply input its command, which is L. So for our first line, its dimensions is 1, 1, then enter. So here is our first line. So in order for us to input our second line, we will just input sharp or number sign and its dimensions, which is 4.1, 1, then enter. For our next line, we will just do the same. Just input number sign or sharp and its corresponding dimensions, then enter. Our next line is just a straight line going to east, so this is equivalent to 0 degrees, which has a length of 2.3, then enter. For our next line, it is a line going to northeast with a dimension with a length of 1.4 and has an elevation of 150 degrees. So if you are wondering how can we make that 150 out of this scenario, so as you can notice, this straight line is a supplementary angle or equivalent to 180 degrees. So in order for us to achieve that 150 degrees out of this, we will just reduce 150 degrees from 180 degrees. That will lead us to 30 degrees, and that is the angle that we will be using in this case. And its length will be 1.4, then enter. So for our next line, it is just a straight line going north. So its angle will be equivalent to 90 degrees, and its length will be 2.1, then enter. For our next line, it is a straight line going northwest with an elevation of 150 degrees and a length of 1.6. So just like the other one, we will reduce 150 degrees from 180 degrees to achieve that 150 degrees. But in this scenario, so as you can notice, there is a 90 degrees here in other side. So what we're going to do is to add that 30 degrees to this 90 degrees. That will lead us to 120 degrees. And its length is 1.6. Then enter. For our next line, it is a straight line going west. So it means that this line corresponds to 180 degrees and its length will be 1.3. Then enter. So let's have a closer look. So our next line will be a straight line going south. So its angle will be 90 degrees and its length is 1.4. Then enter. For our next line, it is a straight line going northwest with an elevation of 45 degrees. So how can we achieve that 45 degrees out of this 180 degrees or in this scenario? So just like the other line that we made earlier, we will reduce that 45 degrees to 180. That will lead us to 135 degrees and its length is 2.2. Then enter. For our next line, it is a straight line going west. So this line corresponds to 180 degrees and its length will be 1.0. Then enter. For our next line, we have that line going to southwest with an elevation of 45 degrees. So that will lead us to 135 degrees, and its length will be 1.5. 1.5. Then enter. For our next line, it is a straight line again, but this time it's going to west. So that line is equivalent to 180 degrees because it is just a straight line. And its length will be 1.0. Then enter. For our next line, that line measures 2.3 and has an elevation of 60 degrees. So 60 degrees. And its length is 2.3. Then enter. So for our last line, we will just connect this last our endpoint to the point where we started. So the next thing that we're gonna do is to input its dimensions. So you will just click dimensions here and then select the line that you want to show the dimensions. For this one, its dimension is 2.3. This one is 1.4. The next one is 1.6, 1.3, 1.4, the next one, 2.2, this one is 1, 1.5, 1, and lastly, we have 2.3. So the next thing is that we will input or show its angular dimensions. So just click this and select the option and select angular. To know the angle of the line, you will just click the line and the other one that you want to know the angle. So this case is 150. This one is also a 150. This is 45 degrees. It's also 45 degrees. 60 degrees. And lastly, we have 120 degrees. So lastly, to finish up our activity, we will input the dimensions. So in this, we're just going to input the dimensions, which is 1, 1. The other one in this area will be 4.1, 1. And lastly, $4.5, 2.2. So there you go. Here is our figure.